Sis Phatheka,
Hello.
how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, and how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for
Yes.
asking. Welcome to HR Hero on Call. Yes, so this season we're focusing on purpose, acceleration, and leadership. So it's a new season, and even the people that we want to have conversation with, we conversating from that regard.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's go on icebreakers a bit so you can relax. I know you're used to these things. So sis, if you were to make any change in the world, what is one thing you would change and why?
In the world, if I would think of one change, is education. And the reason why I'm saying education is because I've learned from me that being in the classroom is not enough. So we are not taught about the basic life skills. We are not taught about being confident. We are not taught about financial literacy. We are not taught about actually the basic life skills. So we are very much lacking on that part because at school you go, you learn geography, you learn history. What do you do after?
You learn life skills as well.
Exactly, because you end up when you go out of school, the practical part of those life skills is not there.
Yeah.
So it's lacking. I saw it with me because I was focusing on being competent. I wasn't focusing on being confident. And also I was focusing on how I should or what I should think, not how I should think.
Oh wow.
And then also I was focusing on emotions and not regulating them.
Oh wow.
So
what an eye opener.
So for me, I would say it's really education being made practical and relevant, so that when we go out or get out of school, we don't only focus on being competent in terms of applying what we have learned, but also we are being confident. And also we get the financial literacy, not us having to read it from books that we buy. At least we get it from school. Yes, we study accounting and all of that. But then in our own lives, how do we deal with money? Because that's the other biggest challenge that we have, is that we don't know how to deal with money. For us, having money in your pocket, good, because you know that if I have money in my pocket, I've got everything. And yet when we die with nothing, because we don't have investments.
I think it's only from I don't know, I would like to believe from African context.
Yes.
Because if you look at the Jews and the Chinese, they are kids from a young age. They already have these things that we saying they are lacking.
Correct.
And it's about how do we then move forward. I like your point to say that should be your focus. How do we move forward to make sure that we are competent in global markets, in that regard?
Yes.
Thank you for saying that. So if you were to have coffee with someone, please don't say me. I know I'm important, but don't choose me. Kidding. If you were to have coffee with someone, who would that be and why?
You know what? If I were to have coffee with someone, that would be my homie.
Okay.
That way too, Mandela.
Oh,
because
wow.
we're both coming from Mthatha.
Yeah.
So for me, from him, I've picked up three things from him. I've picked up resilience. I've picked up forgiveness, and he's a very humble person. He's very humble, and the one thing that I liked the most about him, he was not focusing on what has happened to me. He was focusing on what should happen now that I'm here.
Yes.
So what is it that I need to do to make a change that the people are looking for?
Yeah.
So for me, that will be a conversation that I will have with him, that not as much as you were hurt, not as much as you went through what you went through, but when you came out, you had this forgiveness within yourself that, you know what, let's forget about the past. Let's forget about the people who did whatever they did. Let's focus now on the future. Where are we going as a country? What is it that we need to do? I know a lot of people maybe might not agree with me.
Of course.
But for me, I always feel like if you are not a forgiving person, you are actually limiting your blessings as a person, because you need to be a forgiving person in order for you to have a flowing life.
It's actually spiritual, that thing that you're saying.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes.
So the key point is, regardless of what you've been through or the environment or the season that you've been in, you need to be able to bounce back and move forward and
Yes.
forgive the past, forgive the season, forgive the situation,
Correct.
in order to release yourself and the blessings that comes with it.
Correct.
I love that.
Correct.
So, sis, what's your superpower? Everyone has a superpower.
Ooh,
What's
you know
yours?
what? Everyone has a superpower, and my one is resilience.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, for those who know me, my story is a very, I had a very long story.
Yes.
To be where I am.
Yes.
Having to study.
It was a long walk to freedom.
Exactly. Having to study for 9 years in order for me to, in order for me to finish my LLB and, getting admitted as an attorney, as a notary, as a conveyancer. So it was a very long journey. And also taking from the fact that parents could not afford to take us to varsity.
Yeah.
So I got a message from my mom saying, Phatheka, you know what, I can't, I can't take you to varsity. I can only, because I went to college. So I can only take you to college, but anything else that you want, my child, it will be better for you to go work for it. So I had to work for my degree. And I had to obviously sacrifice a lot, because my childhood and my early, teenage years, I did not enjoy those things, because my focus was making sure that I finish this degree, I get admitted, and I'm making them proud. Because at the end of the day, it's not their fault that they could not afford.
Yeah.
So I needed to make sure. I was just fortunate that they are still alive.
Yeah.
And they were able now to see me graduating, to see me being admitted 3 times. So it's really resilience for me.
Talk about resilience. So I can relate very well with you. It has been a focus even for me to study, educate yourself to become a better person.
Yeah, correct.
Not only for yourself, but for your family and your community and
Correct.
everyone around you,
Correct.
Yeah, hey, we haven't lived. We haven't lived, actually.
No.
I was thinking about it since few months ago that actually I haven't lived. I can't say I know what life is. I have just been focusing on the goal and wanting to acquire,
true.
achieve,
Exactly.
and change my situation.
Exactly.
I haven't lived.
Exactly. I haven't lived either, because
Yeah.
a lot of people have always saying, people say life starts at 40.
That's now we starting
But then,
to live.
but then at 40, I was 40, and I nothing changed.
Yeah.
So now I'm close to 50 now. So
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know whether it's gonna start at 50. I have no idea, but
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
But honestly, we haven't
Yeah.
lived.
Yeah, so let's work on that. Let's work on now
Definitely.
starting to live,
Definitely.
right? Okay.
Definitely.
So, Phatheka, you are a conveyancing attorney. Why did you decide on this career above other areas of law?
You know what? I think more than anything, I love property.
Yes.
I think I got to understand that.
First, before you respond, can you look into the camera and explain what is a conveyancing attorney? And then you can respond. That's your camera over there.
A conveyancing attorney is an attorney, actually, because you need to be admitted first as an attorney, and then you need to write an exam and get admitted at the High Court as a conveyancer. So that is a specialty for those who wants to specialize in property conveyancing. That is now your property transfers, your property management, and all of that. So if you want to specialize as an attorney, then you go and you write the conveyancing exam. Once you pass, you get admitted in the High Court, and then you become a conveyancer.
Yeah. Those are what we call the top dogs. The ones that have cracked the code. Okay. Yes. So why did you decide on this career specifically?
You know, the reason why I decided on this career is because you know when people are buying properties, they're making a major decision. It's like a major decision, a decision that brings excitement, a decision that brings emotions, you know, a decision that brings anxiety, because you are buying a property, there's a new obligation. You know, maybe you are moving to a neighborhood or even to a different province. So it's a major decision.
Yeah.
So it's always nice to be part of that decision. Whether you are buying that property or you are selling that property, it's always nice to be part of that a major decision that you have made, because of the fact that also it has got some complexes of its own, whereby we have to talk about the risk involved in buying or selling a property, and in terms of talking about the financial implications, and also the tax implications. So it's always nice to be part of that journey. It's nice to be part of a journey where people are either excited. I know that I would say 50-50. 50% of them are excited, 50% are not excited.
Yeah. So, to your point, why does it feel so stressful actually to buy a property? It's supposed to be an exciting...
It's supposed to be an exciting journey. You know what? It's actually... the reason why it's stressful is because we cloud everything with excitement. So we cloud everything with emotions, because of the fact that when you are buying a property, you're excited that you're going to move to a new home.
Of course.
And now you're forgetting the most important thing, which is you reading the contract. And now out of you ignoring that part, then it means that there are other implications that will come with this whole process. So excitement, emotions, yes, excitement you have to, but you just need to regulate the emotions, because sometimes if you can't, and then you bring the emotion to it, then it means there are some things that you will miss in the process, or in understanding the process, or in understanding contract that you signed in buying that property. So sometimes it comes with its complexity.
Okay. So what is one thing, as a property or conveyancing attorney, what is one thing that you wish people knew before buying or signing on the dotted line?
I think before I could go to that question actually is, what is your intention? I always ask people, you're buying a property, what exactly is your intention? Are you buying a residential home, or are you buying an investment property? So investment property, remember, it can be broken down to either you're buying to rent out, or you're buying to develop, or you're buying to subdivide, or you're buying to consolidate. Whatever it is that you are trying to do, the basis of everything is your intention. What is your intention? Because that's where a lot of people then miss as first-time buyers, that there are financial obligations and there are contractual obligations. So meaning you need to read the contract first, you need to understand. And then also you need to understand the actual property you're purchasing. Because honestly speaking, you are going to buy a property where you want to develop, only to find that you can't develop. You are buying a property where you think that I can subdivide, I can consolidate, only to be told by the municipality that you can't. So as a first-time buyer, it's very important to have the understanding of the legal and the financial implications of the deal. So it's not just the closing of a deal, because I know that property investors, I'm sorry guys, they always say, you know what, I've closed the deal, I've closed the deal. It's not about closing a deal, it's about you understanding the actual contract. And then also you, because I know a lot of people are sort of, I wouldn't say they're afraid, they always feel like, attorneys, I can't approach them to ask something. So I always say, guys, you will only know when you have tried something. Go and approach someone who is a legal person to understand the contract, and then you can say,
and then
because you can't say because other people maybe say so, and then you are also saying, no, I can't approach an attorney because attorneys, they are expensive or whatnot. What is important here is, why are you buying this property? So that I can be able to help you. And then I will be able to tell you, no, in terms of this title deed of this property, there's no development that can be done.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I've learned the hard way. I've learned the hard way.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. So you were my conveyancing attorney.
Wow.
But we're not there. Okay. So a lot of people, they deal with the real estate agents. And they sell, and they sell. But when you speak to an attorney, it's not a different kind of message, but now that's where you get to actually understand the reality of the property, as you mentioned.
Yes, yes.
So how do we align these sellers with the law?
You know what, Tine? I
don't know if it makes sense what I'm asking.
I think I'm getting what you are asking, because
there needs to be an alignment in terms of what they're saying, in terms of what they're selling to us, and what the convincing attorney actually say in terms of the contractual documents.
You know what? Because remember, as a seller, you have a power. You have a power to decide how much you want to put as a price on a property.
Yeah.
You've got a power to decide which offer to accept. However, estate agents sometimes, some of them, they don't sort of, take you through the whole process and make you understand that, yes, you are selling your property, but note. Because for them, it's about closing a deal.
Yeah.
And closing a deal for them, it's about their commission.
Of course, it's money.
Exactly. So now you find, I was actually dealing with one estate agent now, and yes, he was brilliant. He was brilliant. I was even saying, you know what, dude, I did not even negotiate your commission because of the professionalism that you have brought to me. So they should not focus on closing the deals. They should focus on ensuring, because remember, you are taking a big decision in either selling or buying the property.
Of course.
So you need a person who understands to hold your hand. And in holding your hand, they need to tell you about the legal implications. They need to tell you about even if they would refer you to an attorney to confirm that, but you need at least to be given a highlight of what you need to expect.
Yeah.
Because buyers also, they can decide, you know what, I can't buy a property for R5 because I've seen 1, 2, 3. They can negotiate and do all of those kind of things. Because on our sides, the only thing that we do is to try and enforce the contract, and making sure that we execute according to, the contract that is in front of us. But you need to know. So meaning the estate agents needs to be able to sort of take you through the whole process, even if they can say go and confirm it with a legal person, but not that sign and the deal is closed. And now we know there is a commission that they are going to earn. It doesn't work that way, but unfortunately we do get those ones.
Yes. So you spoke about power, the power dynamics. When you look at this power dynamics between the real estate agent, the conveyancing attorney, and the buyer, who has more power and why in this scenario? Who's more powerful and why? Is it the real estate agent because they go out with a cash of bag, or is it the conveyancing attorney, or is it
you know what, I would say,
but never the buyer. I don't think it's the buyer.
The buyer has the power. The buyer does have the power.
Okay.
It's just that each person's power is limited, because as an estate agent, your power is limited to ensuring that the necessary documents are signed, just like your disclosure documents in terms of the property condition. And as a seller, you also have the power to decide, no, I'm not, I'm not going to sell it for R5, I'm going to sell it for R6 because I've upgraded and all of that. And obviously as a buyer, you also have the power to say, no, it's not R6, it's R5, it's R550 maybe, negotiating depending on what you have seen in the property. And as an attorney, then where your power then as an attorney is to ensure that all three of them actually are here. And all of them, they are having a same understanding of the obligations in this contract. And some of them, they have the understanding of the legal as well as the financial implications of that particular transaction. So again, as an attorney, I would say you are the one who has more power than everyone else here, because of the fact that you have to make sure that when an agent you understand, when a seller you understand, when a buyer you understand. Not necessarily to say, I've got a contract, I'm executing according to the contract. Whereas if there's misunderstanding, it's still your responsibility as a conveyancer to make sure that they are all aligned.
So what advice would you then give to a buyer? I want to start it there because that's where a majority of the problem arise. Where you offer to purchase, where you give you sign offer to purchase, and then you want to change your mind, and then somebody says no, you are buying this property, and that's my personal experience. Because I think when I signed the offer to purchase, right, this is a personal story. It was clear that you buy as it is.
Yes.
And then I realized that as we moving with transactions, that no, this property is, because we didn't get an evaluator. This property, there's problems. That was my mistake. I do take full accountability. And I think Dikit and Ramai Martin assisted me with that one, property.
Yes, because we're working on that matter together.
Oh, you're working on that matter. Okay, yeah. So you are my conveyancing attendant. So that specific property now, then I see that there's problem. Then you guys were like, but was there a non-disclosure? And it was like, no. But that's how we survived, and I managed to get out of the situation. But the guy was saying, no, you signed offer to purchase, you're buying this property, you can't change your mind. So how do we deal with dynamics like that?
You know what? It's so unfortunate that you find some estate agents not being able to give you a better advice because of the because of the fact that they're looking at the commission aspect, you know, and it's not about that. Honestly speaking, it's not about that. It's all about making sure that when you are closing a deal, you're closing a deal with the seller happy and the buyer happy. So with us, we will always be happy because once the deal is closed, we know it's done. You know, we executed according to what is written there. However, as a new buyer, when you buy a property, so there's a mandatory disclosure form that needs to be signed, because I assisted a client also where the mandatory disclosure form was signed after the OTP. Because in terms of the PPRA, it must not be signed after the fact. It must be signed before, because you need to know the condition of the property up front in order for you to make a decision. So again, as buyers, I remember I had this topic last week with Power FM about viewing a property. So you can put an exit condition as a buyer to make sure that in your contract you want to view this property twice.
Yes.
And you put it, you draft a condition where you say that this is conditional upon me doing 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
And then you don't view it once, because sometimes you must remember our eyes, they deceive us.
That was the mistake. Because what happened there is, if you remember the scenario, I viewed the property, the furniture was still there, everything was perfect. Once they have moved, now we're at the final stage, just a few days before registration. Then I went to go view again. Then I found, no, this is cracked. It's an old stuff that were hidden. The walls might be falling, and I said, there is no way. And the guy was like, no, you are buying this property. And you took me out of that sticky situation. Yeah.
So I would say, because I always say the power is in the viewing process. So you view the property, yes, you like it, you can sign a contract, because sometimes they will tell you that, you know, there's someone else who's looking at this property. If you don't sign now, you know, you're not going to get it. And obviously you liked it. But then you can still put a condition that will help you to get out of the deal, whereby you're making it condition to whatever it is that you would want to do, which includes the second viewing. Then go and view it again. And then in viewing again, that's when then, because remember now, when you're viewing the second time, there's no longer an excitement. So now it's you now being serious. Now you have now signed the contract. You're like, okay, am I proceeding? You know, now your eyes won't be the same as the first time. So you need to view that property. That part is actually carrying so much power that a lot of people don't realize. So it's easier for people to just, you know, try and bully you into proceeding into something, even if you know your heart says no.
So sis, as a final message, what advice would you like to give to first-time property buyers or property investors looking into your camera?
Oh, I love my property investors, guys. You know, what I can say to property investors is the basis of everything when you're buying or selling a property. Actually, let me talk about buying. When you're buying a property, is your intention. Your intention is very important, because of the fact that your intention will help you in terms of shaping your investment. So your investment cannot be just an investment because you are buying a property. It must be an investment where you know that this is for me and my future family, or your family, or whoever that you are doing it for. But what is important as the first-time buyer, please ensure that you've got your ducks in the row in terms of understanding why you're buying. Then you will be able to get assistance. One, in knowing whether this is a right property for you. Two, whether you will be able to do what you are intending to do in the property. And then three, what are the cost implications? Because sometimes I had a client who actually bought a property, and the non-disclosure form was signed after the fact.
Yeah.
And then when we find out there was an encroachment on the building, on the municipality's servitude. So then in that case, it means that actually it led to the building plans not being approved.
Yeah.
And then they said, no, let's reduce the purchase price so that you can be able to get your building plans. And then I'm like, no, what if the building plans are not going to be approved? How do you know that this amount of money that they have deducted will be enough for you to get the building plans? Only to find out that there's this encroachment. And now they need to firstly get the municipality to relax that. So meaning now the municipality has to say, you know what, we see you have built wrongly, but it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, but then you need to cross that step before you go and get your plans approved. So it was such a lengthy process. But at the end, the plans were not approved. And at the end, the client ended up saying, okay, no, Phatheka, I can't proceed with this one. So it's very important because, again, when you know exactly why you're buying the property, it's easy to look at the title deed and the title deed conditions. Will they allow you? And all those kinds of, so importantly, as a property investor, I would not stress this one much. Have your own power team. Have your attorney next to you, have your architect, have your electrician, have your contractor person, have your own power team, people that you know. When it comes to cracks, I've got this person to check. When it comes to electrical issues, I've got this person to check. When it comes to understanding contracts, I've got this attorney next to me. So your power team is very, very much important as a property investor. And lastly, as a property investor, let's not run and buy properties and forgetting that tomorrow is not promised. Let's buy these properties and think about estate planning.
Okay.
So let's think about estate planning and know that tomorrow is really not promised, and it might happen that you go and there's no will in place, you are married in commute of property, or whatever the case. So we need to make sure that in everything that we do as property investors in buying these properties, we have our estate planning in mind.
Thank you. Thank you, Sis. In concluding, thank you so much for the service that you've offered to me as a customer. So where do people find you? Anyone looking for a conveyancing attorney, where do they find you?
Yes, you can find us. Our offices are at Constantia Office Park, there by 14th Avenue. Some they say is William Nicole. And also you can find us on the socials. We are, although we are not that much visible, but we are, I'm promising, we are going to be visible this year. We have a Facebook page, PP Maliphale Incorporated. We've got our TikTok, we've got our LinkedIn, so you can get us there, or you can send us a text. I can't remember the
handle
number.
is PP Maliphale Incorporated.
Yeah, PP Maliphale Incorporated.
Thank you, Sis, for joining the conversation.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
We out.